Hello everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable, SERoundtable.com over the past week. Today is Friday, March 25th. And first up, Google has confirmed, shocking news, that they confirmed the top two ranking factors in Google, which is, in search ranking factors in Google, which is 1, content, and 2, links. Not in that order, it could be links or content first. They just said it's content and links. The reason they confirmed it is in a Google Hangout with Andre, a search quality strategist at Google, hosted by Web Promo, where Rand Fishkin and a bunch of other SEOs out there, Almond Johns, Bill Slosky, and a bunch of others, Eric Enga, went ahead and were asking this Googler a bunch of questions. They do this every month or so. And this one, they actually covered a lot of cool things, and I'll go through a lot of them right now. So Google said in the past that RankBrain is the number 3 ranking factor, which really makes no sense to me because RankBrain uses ranking factors, from what I understand, and adjusts them. But in any event, they said it was number 3 back in a Bloomberg article when RankBrain was first announced. And they asked this Googler, what are the other 2? What are the top 2? And he's like, I'll answer that, even though Google wouldn't answer it. The PR department wouldn't answer it. He said it's content and links, and that's obviously obvious. I mean, we know Google finds that to be most important. So definitely watch the video where he discusses that. It's nothing rocket science, but it's definitely something that is interesting. Also, Google said, Andre said from Google, that machine learning is something that Google is working very, very hard on, specifically around search quality and spam detection. So he basically said it's coming. He said he cannot go into any particular success we had with machine learning, but he's quite confident that we will continue exploring it. They are not using it today, he said, but he said, I'm quite confident that the effects of trying to apply it has been very, very beneficial. And you can definitely watch what he has to say with that. It's a very interesting conversation by itself. But a former Googler who left Google about 6 months ago, who was working with the search quality team for about 4+ years, specifically fighting spam, said that Google does use it already. He basically said, here's the tweet. He's had a bunch of tweets. One, he basically said, if you think machine learning was not in the game already, specifically around spam, then you're missing the boat. Basically, he added machine learning was the boost to scale what spam fighters do manually, and I guess is continuously being enhanced. Maybe that's what he's saying. That's why Andre said it's still being worked on. And I asked him specifically, okay, so spam algos use ML machine learning currently, and he said in some ways. So I guess they are using it. Going back, this was interesting. So Google has always said they don't use click data in the search results. So like somebody clicks on a search result and clicks back. They don't use that as a ranking signal because it's very hard to use. It's not a very good signal, they said. But Moz has come out with repeated studies and tests and so forth that show they do use it in the results. So we had Rand Fishkin and Google's Andre, I'm not going to pronounce his last name, go at it for several minutes about that. And it's definitely an interesting conversation. If you want, you definitely should watch it. And basically, Andre said, without looking at the data, it might be that Google's saying, oh, there's a trending spike in a specific type of keyword that's being searched on, and because of that, that confuses Google's search results, and thus you'll see fluctuations happen in the short term, but once Google figures it out, it goes back to normal. And that might be the case, and that seems to be okay, but it's not that clicks are actually influencing the search rankings. It's more about maybe the trending of people searching for certain queries that might be impacting it. But again, they said they will work together actually to go ahead and see why that's the case, and Andre will be transparent in responding to it when Rand Fishkin runs the test again. Google also, he said that he explained why even though web spam algorithms are mostly global, although Panda is not a global web spam algorithm, it's tailored for different regional languages, like English versus Japanese versus Arabic and so forth. And why certain regions pose more of a challenge. So Rand Fishkin said this, and I had the same experience. When you go speaking internationally, you say Google's all about quality content, real links, and so forth. Don't spam. Well, people will come up to you afterwards in the audience and say, well, it's all fun and game. True, Google's been saying that. It might be the case for the U.S. market, but when it comes to I was in Germany, I was in different regions, Israel, whatever it might be. They say, well, in these regions, in these languages, Hebrew or Turkish or Arabic or whatever certain languages they might be, those languages, Google, it still works to spam it. It still works using link spam. It still works using content spam and so forth. Google's still ranks this stuff really well. And Andre basically said he's very passionate about it as a topic. He works specifically in the Russian market, I believe, and there's probably quite a significant amount of spam there. And he basically said the reason for that, especially in the Arabic data, which I heard this several times before from Googlers, is, and I think we wrote about it also, is that with Arabic content or certain regional content that's out there, there's not a lot of content for Google to rank. And because of that, Google's ranking the spammy results because there's nothing else to rank. When somebody writes better quality and more natural and more organic content that should rank better, that will rank above the spammy stuff. But until then, Google has to rank something, so they're ranking that. And he goes into it for a really long time. You should definitely watch the video. I linked to it below. It's pretty interesting. Again, that's nothing new. We actually covered that before, but it's interesting to hear him talk about it because that's a topic that he's very passionate about at Google. This is fun too. So, somebody asked John Mueller, according to a Moz help article, and I'll show it to you. The Moz help article says specifically that 302 redirects is a temporary redirect, and it passes 0% of link juice ranking power, which is PageRank. And in most cases should not be used. Basically saying don't use 301, use 303, so don't use 302s, which are temporary redirects, use 301s because they'll pass, and 302s do not pass anything. So John Mueller basically responded, I don't know about link juice, but I do know about PageRank is handled, and he did say in the last month that 302 redirects do pass PageRank. There was a whole big debate around that. Let me go back. I'll bring up this one here. Because after I wrote that article, people are saying Google's lying, 302s they do pass PageRank, even though Moz says they don't pass any PageRank, but Google's saying they pass equal PageRank. Google didn't say they're passing equal PageRank, they said they do pass PageRank. In any event, so you have all this sarcasm coming out on both ends of this front, on both from Moz followers and Googlers. Let me just share some of the Google sarcasm. Gary, meeting the team, the first thing we mentioned, wait for it, Rand Brain. Yes, Rand Brain, this is going downhill. Then Rand Fishing says, my brain's too nebbishy. It's a Yiddish word. It'll be all, I don't know if we should use this, I don't know if this works, and so forth. And Gary says, is that sarcasm? And no, Gary, that's sarcasm. And then Stu said 302 apparently passed PageRank. However, this did come from John Mueller, so I'd be a bit skeptical. He's basically saying, why believe John Mueller from Google? And John Mueller's like, yeah, it's almost as if I have a stake in selling 302s, which is pretty funny. And then John Mueller went to this TANU, which is basically a Microsoft artificial intelligent Twitter account, which has a lot of stuff going on with it in terms of issues and publicity and so forth. He basically went on a rant about 302s or 301s and 302s and so forth. So it's pretty funny. It's good to have some of that humor and to relax a little bit about that. So Google said, or John Mueller said, that you could definitely post reviews on an international site. So let's say you have an English site and you have a Russian site. But you have your product reviews only in English. John Mueller said you could definitely embed the product reviews in English on the Russian version of the website, but include them in English. Don't machine translate them. You can definitely add a link to say, click here to translate them with machine learning. You could also use a human translator to translate them, but do not use machine learn translated automatically on that page or else it'll be considered spam. So that's something interesting. I never saw anybody talk about that before, and now we have seen it. We know that machine learning is spam. We didn't know about reviews and how to embed them on internationalized sites and so forth. Former Googler Pierre Farr basically said, we reported last week about a Google update, how Google probably had an update early in March, and I shared some stats and so forth and some community discussion around it. And Pierre Farr from Google basically said, definitely something happened, and clearly it's gone unnoticed for long enough. So even Googlers, former Googlers, say, yeah, we saw it, nobody really noticed it. It's funny to see a former Googler who basically all his career that we've known of him beforehand was like, no, we were constantly making changes and so forth. See him say something like this. I wanted to pull that out. Again, it's really interesting to me to see former Googlers talking as SEOs in their SEO careers. This is pretty upsetting. One is local SEO. They do basically Google Maps, optimization, and so forth. Went ahead and had all his clients managed in one of his accounts. And I guess he did some spammy techniques, or Google thought he did some spammy techniques, and he got 60 plus of his clients suspended. Every single one of his clients in his managed account suspended overnight in one night. Because again, it's one of those things about if you're spamming, don't put all your spam accounts in the same Google Search Console account. Don't do the same thing when it comes to Google Maps as well. And there's a lot of comments there about how to handle that and how crazy that was. Mozcast, their feature report showed that the people also ask feature saw a huge jump in the past couple weeks. This is what the people always ask feature looks like. And they saw it's at about a 9% increase in terms of that. So now you saw 15% of the queries are now showing it up from about 7.5% or so, which is definitely the case because I see a lot of people reporting, hey, look at this. And it's been around for a long time, but Google has definitely upped it. Google is also testing images in the search results. This is something they've been testing for a long time. I've seen more and more people talking about it over and over again. And this is what it kind of looks like. You have a snippet and there's an image on the side over there. And I've seen lots of examples of this, so it's interesting to see. Google AdSense is more broadly rolling out their match content ads, basically embed ads that are related to your content, and it will show ads there, so you can definitely use that feature if you're an AdSense publisher. Google revamped their AdWords search advertising exam. They didn't really say what was changed. I think Jenny Marvin at Search and Land posted a more detailed article after questioning Google what has changed, so you can definitely take a look at that. But they definitely just changed their AdWords exam. I shared the Sarcasm one with you, and a sad note, Fathom, who I was with at SEO Chat back in like 2002 when I was part of the SEO Chat community, and he actually, his name is Rodney Brown, and he actually passed away recently. He actually contributed a tremendous amount. We covered him several times, or dozens of times at SEO Roundtable, and it's really sad to hear of a contributor, anybody passing away, but especially somebody who contributed so much to the SEO community and SEM community over the past years. So thank you for everything. In any event, I wanted to wish everybody a great weekend. This is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com over the past week. Again, today is Friday, March 25th. Everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next. Bye.